Is Big Brother watching in your workplace? Maybe not yet, but Big Brother-style remote video monitoring could be the wave of the future. That's why tonight we're going off the tape to talk to a privately held company that's pioneering this technology and growing like weed. I'm talking about Arrowsight, which provides a remote video auditing system that enables third-party auditing of worker production to figure out ways to improve safety and productivity. Arrowsight already works with many meat production facilities, fast food companies, and hospital systems, all areas where making sure health standards are maintained is a very big deal. I think this platform could be a game changer when it comes to helping businesses become more efficient and implement better health and safety standards. So let's take a closer look with Adam Aronson, the founder and CEO of Arrowsight. Mr. Aronson, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
All right, when I read about this, the first thing I said was like, why didn't I think of that? So tell me how you thought of it.
Okay, so, you can almost roll the clocks back about 12 years when I started this company.
Okay.
And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why corporate America wasn't using video cameras the way that, sporting teams had been using it for decades. So we just said, let's start a whole company around this. And the two industries that we have a kind of a primary focus on is food manufacturing and healthcare. And they both share a lot of risk factors, patient safety, food safety, and they also have a lot of focus on efficiencies and productivity.
Well, I mean, I'm on a call, like just a regular customer service call. It always says, be aware that it might be recorded for monitoring. How come we cared more about that than we cared about something like public health?
Well, it's interesting. I think that most of the companies out there have done as good a job as they possibly can with conventional methods, frontline managers. And what we found is that by doing random sampling, throughout the day, a great example would be in the operating room. So there, as an example, we've been working with North Shore LIJ Health System, which is a big New York State healthcare chain, and their partner, North American Partners in Anesthesia, their anesthesia provider, and they've installed cameras in each and every operating room, and they're set at a low resolution, so you're not going to, be getting into patient privacy. And from our monitoring centers, we're looking into those rooms every 2 minutes and providing real-time feedback on safety measures, on efficiency measures, and the results have been terrific. And they take advantage of the fact that managers can't be everywhere all the time, and so
Well, when I thought of this, I said, geez, malpractice insurance is such a big problem. It's kind of like when you have these, when you have taser cameras, and the police can avoid brutality charges. I mean, those cameras can be used. Then a patient sues, you can see that the doctors did everything they could, right? I mean, it's got to help.
It absolutely helps. And so the main focus in healthcare, in the case of the operating room, is to avoid wrong site surgeries, right? To avoid surgical site infection. So these guys have been able to get their compliance rates to 90 to 100% by getting real-time feedback to plasma boards, text alerts, phone alerts. And so you're getting a whole advancement in safety, but at the same time, efficiencies are really important too, because you don't want to keep patients waiting, you don't want to keep surgeons waiting. So they've been able to reduce their turnover times in between cases by about 20%.
Yeah, I just thought that was so great. I'm trying to get, why are the meat packing companies a focus, and why haven't others? Like, why, just to use one that's in the news, why doesn't McDonald's have everything filmed?
Well, so in the meat industry, which was really the first market we focused on, they have a tremendous amount of, priority on food safety, right? So one of the great examples, we work with a lot of large companies, Cargill, OSI Group, JBS. One of the great food safety examples, which came from JBS, was they said, let's get after, in our beef processing plants, sanitation practices. So they were able, in the first year that they installed this, to get their compliance rates to 99.7%, which reduced their E. coli rates by about 60% in the first year that they did this. And that really sprung us into a lot of the food industry. We're in about 60% of the beef industry and have a lot of penetration in turkey and pork.
Well, let me ask one question, because I know that you got 30% growth. Is it possible, can someone else, I know Taser has the product for law enforcement, could someone else come in and dislodge you, or are you guys, is it greenfield right now? It's
greenfield, and it's very challenging. It's not just software and cameras and recording devices. You have to be expert in a lot of things. You have to be able to manage call centers. You have to be able to deploy and manage cameras, and you have to create amazing feedback mechanisms so that people can get instant information right in their hands or on boards. And so I'm not saying that other companies couldn't get after it, but it's a big step.
But you've created an ecosystem, and that's exactly what it's always a good moat. The ecosystem's a great moat. Okay, that's Adam Aronson, the CEO of Arrowsight. Guys, this is a private company, but you never know when companies are going to come public, and it's difficult to talk about that process because government doesn't want you to do it. But this is the kind of company that I think is intrinsically filling a need. And that often leads to great success in business. Mad Money's back in.